present you a panel discussion, growth hacking and marketing.
A process of rapid experimentation. Make marketing channels to identify the most effective ways to grow a business. This is what we call growth hacking.
Just imagine your business is a bucket and your leads are water. You don't want to pour into a leaky bucket, do you?
A good mentor is invested in your success and guides you from planning to launch to growth to consolidation.
A good mentor can change the trajectory of your startups and help you to put in a league apart. Of course, you need to play your part and do what it takes to find success.
A serial entrepreneur with a background in digital marketing and growth hacking.
She worked with Rocket Engineer and Team Europe Ventures to set up and maintain the digital marketing activities with her ventures.
She also co-founded an edtech startup. She founded her latest venture,
Growth Hacking Asia, with the goal to flip the success rate of Asian startups from 1 on 10 to 9 on 10.
So ladies and gentlemen, I welcome Ms. Anna Reherman, co-founder Growth Hacking Asia.
I request Vande ma'am to please felicitate Ms. Anna Reherman.
Our next guest believe, learn from elders, practice with peers, and teach your youngers.
He started his entrepreneur journey at the age of 16.
And he has his own version of ROTI, Return on Time Investment.
He has also authored 3 books, The Digital Marketing Handbook, India Startup Guide, and The Growth Path.
We gladly receive our next panelist, Mr. Mohit Pawar, digital marketer and a growth hacker, and as well as an author. Our next guest has the experience with Fortune 500 companies.
He has also worked for Lending Tree as their decision engine architect.
He later co-founded Mortgage Data Systems, a finance startup in the United States.
After a successful stint, he made a move to India and co-founded Axelon Technologies.
Citing an opportunity with digital marketing in India
and an inclination to create a product company, he co-founded Amura.
His astute business sense and leadership is the guiding torch for Amura and its talented team.
So let's welcome Mr. Vikram Kotnis, CEO and co-founder of AmuraTech.com with a huge round of applause. Vishal Kapadnis, an esteemed autonomous of EDC VIT, has been a constant guide to the cell activities.
Vishal has been a winner at Vishwapreneur 2015 Business Plan Competition for the groundbreaking idea of using two-wheelers as a taxi.
He also co-founded Pune Sabzi, a home delivery service for daily groceries. So I request Vanzai ma'am to please felicitate Vishal Kapadnis.
moderator for the evening
growth hacking
to
marketing.
take
Growth hacker
take
is
over.
here, and she's a serial entrepreneur, and then Vikram Kotnis. Even he is a serial entrepreneur, and he has his Amura Marketing, which is one of the biggest digital marketing firms in India, and we have a digital marketer and an author of 3 books with us. And let's have a big round of applause for everyone after I finish this line. And it's more power. A big round, big round, big round, big round. That is fantastic. Thank you. Because if you don't clap, they're going to make you clap afterwards. Take my word. Yeah. So let's start with introducing your own work and companies. Okay. So Vikram sir, let's start with you. Tell us about Amura Marketing.
Can everyone hear me okay? Amura was started with the thought of becoming one of the largest marketing solutions company in the world. So when we started, I started off with, I had just exited my last company. I had a decent amount of cash sitting with me. I wanted to promote entrepreneurship in India also. We picked up 4 of the brightest minds from College of Engineering. Obviously that's my alma mater. Pune, and we started off Amura at that point with an intention of building a product with 23-year-olds. So obviously today we can proudly say in the real estate vertical we are almost all 8 category builders are on our product. We are soon releasing our marketing and advertising cloud, which will go and compete globally. And the boys have put in their time and done a great job at building the product. And we've been bootstrapped from day one, and we are fairly large today, and the hard work has paid off for the last 7 years. So the goal is now to go and make a mark internationally. And in India we are there now, so we want to move out towards the world and create some success stories out of India. That's what we are looking for.
So next, we move to Anana. Please introduce your work and even Growth Hacking Asia.
Hi guys. Yeah, my background, I've always worked with startups, always early stage startups. What I find exciting is the time from when you have an idea to when you actually make it work. So when you have your repeatable like growth drivers basically. Once it goes into maintenance mode, kind of gets boring for me, and then I find another early stage startup. So that's, yeah, I've always been doing that, and eventually that grew into Growth Hacking Asia. So we're now in 7 countries. And focus heavily on educating young entrepreneurs in how to approach growth for their businesses, and also do one-on-one consulting with the startups so we feel they have the highest potential to achieve growth. Yeah, in short, that's what we do.
Thank you. And let's move to Mohit. So you have been an author, and you are very closely working with Indian government. So let's just share about it. I mean, what is your work?
First, thank you for all the kind words and all the claps that you've shared with me. Government of India, I'm not closely working with them, but okay, I've spoken at the conferences. That is what that part is clear. And so I am an entrepreneur. I think I was a born entrepreneur, and I started my first business when I was 16. I borrowed 7,000 rupees from my father to start my first business, which was called Expert Minds. And I was still a kid and tried to make it work. Then I think I became an author by chance because I'm a curious person. So that's how the digital marketing thing also happened to me. So I heard about this term called blogs, which were then very popular in the US. There were almost none in India. I said, okay, let's start one. So I did not know how to code. So to start my first blog, I learned okay how to code, and then the journey started. And then I started talking to people, and one fine gentleman who used to be general manager marketing of one large company in India. They were partnering with a business based out of the US, world's largest steel products company. And he recommended my name to the director of that company, saying that, okay, Mohit Pawar should do your digital marketing. He's the best person that I know. And overnight, from a person who did not have a business, I became a business owner of a small digital marketing agency. They became my first client. And from there, I think by chance wrote a book on digital marketing, which sort of was liked by people. Then by doing this, I have built a business which teaches other people digital marketing. So to launch that particular product, we ran an interesting growth hack. I'll share more when we get into discussion about that. And then there is small business, which is a digital marketing agency, but which we do not do everything. We do a thing called audience building, and we probably are one of the best 5 teams in Asia doing that. And we work with a lot of brands, and we want to create a happy company where our customers are happy and employees and everyone is happy. So that's all.
Wow, and let me tell you, Mohit sir even was a DJ once, and that is really cool. So let's move on to our topic, and that is digital marketing and growth hacking. So, or else before that, let's associate psychology and marketing. So I've read and heard a lot about that psychology and marketing are both are very much related, and psychology is the basis of marketing. So, Vidham sir, your views on it?
Yeah, marketing is all about creating perception, right? So it's about the art of creating the right perception in the right segment that you're going after. So that's pretty much it. It's a lot of common sense, and a lot of people don't get it, but people who get it have a very bright future. So I think it's all about playing the mind game right.
Again, your
Supporting. Yeah. Mohit sir, I really want your views on psychology and marketing.
So I think it is same what Vikram has said. The tangibility that if you really want to create a big company, then apply common sense, and common sense says and try to get into people's brain. And if you want to make marketing too complex, you can make it, because there are a lot of jargons in marketing. Right? There are thousands of books written and being written about marketing. So you can read them all, or you can see what problem the customer is facing, and maybe have not thought that there can be a solution for that particular problem, and then create a solution around it. So I think you'll have the seeds of big business. And I think the guy who started Blogger and then Medium.com, and one of the co-founders of Twitter also. So Eagle Williams, he said the best. So if you want to create a unicorn, then find a problem that has existed forever, which is related to society and human emotions, and then build a software around it. I think that's how he's done Twitter, because Twitter is something where he created Blogger first based out of this company called Pyro Labs, where people wanted to communicate, they had a lot of emotions and things to share, but there was no platform. So if you wanted to post something on web, then you have to be a coder before blogs came in picture. And he gave people a template where you could just write into a Vysevic software, or what you get, simple interface. You can just punch words there, and outcome will be a web page, which was a blog. So that was the first thing he did. And next thing, he made Twitter. So the experiment was around because people did not want to read too much text, which was there on blogs. They wanted to communicate short bites. So he said, okay, like we are sitting, if two friends are sitting together, what will they do, right? So, okay, what is happening here? And what is up? So these kind of communication. So Twitter was 140 characters, and that's how it became a $1 billion company. Not all his plays were successful. That's the case with every entrepreneur. But so through this mix, he did it well. And now his next startup, Medium.com, the future is still out for us to see, but it is sure $1 billion company already.
Wow, thank you. So everyone who really wants to start up, so this is what we have learning from here right now. That do understand people, and then get into businesses, find problems, and then find solutions for it. Am I right, sir?
yeah.
Yeah. So let's go to the next thing, and which is the topic of today: digital marketing and growth hacking. For you, what is digital marketing?
It's very simple. It's using all electronic media to reach out to people, nothing else. It has more transparency and measurability built into it. So you kind of need to know technology to execute digital marketing properly, or at least the tools. Because the environment is quite complex. So when Mohit's talking about audience and segments and all these things, are you getting the right audience? Are they sticking with you and all these things? So I think the base should be strong when you start off with digital marketing to be able to be successful. So I think anybody who wants to get into digital marketing should first get into analytics and BI before they start off with digital marketing. And the mediums are why they are changing every day. The screens are changing every day, so it's always fun and on the edge every time.
Thank you. So Anna, there's digital marketing at one side, and there's something at the other side. So what is the difference between digital marketing and all the other traditional ways of marketing? And how do you see which one is good? And, I mean, the pros and cons. Could you please highlight a few of them?
The traditional ways of marketing and offline.
Yeah, let's say offline and digital marketing. So.
I mean, for me, digital marketing, similar to what you said as well, it's awesome because you can measure everything. Like you have data on everything, and based on the data, you can make decisions. Whereas if you have like radio advertising or billboards, whatever it is, you don't actually know how many people saw the billboard, how many people actually made a purchase decision based on that billboard. Like they went back home and made a purchase because they saw me there or they heard about me there. And with offline traditional media, it's very, very difficult. I also used to work in an advertising agency, and you have these models where you kind of calculate what the numbers might be, but yeah, I don't really believe in that. It's like I want numbers, and digital gives you numbers. And it's really useful because it helps you manage the user journey. So it's not just about user acquisition. So you don't use digital marketing only to acquire new users, but you can manage like every single step, like every touch point they have with you and your product. So you use it to acquire the users, but then also once they have made a purchase, you can reach out to them again and make them purchase again. So it really allows you to manage this entire user cycle that you need to manage and measure everything. And then based on the data you get, you can optimize every single touch point that you have with your user. So as a startup especially, you don't have money. So by having this data to base your decisions on, you can actually make much better decisions than you were ever able to do offline.
Okay, so that's it. I mean, if you go digital marketing and there's offline something, so offline we really can't measure into very measurable terms. And in digital marketing, we can measure a lot, and that could be very fruitful for our startup or anything else, right?
Yeah, like but US, I believe offline and online has to go together. It's not that everything should only be online. Some of the most successful startups I've seen, they combine, especially in the early stage where you have to build your initial user base, you should really combine offline and online. Like even for us, Growth Hacking Asia, we started offline. We started with community events, we started with trainings, we just kind of put ourselves out there as people well, for us it was to do market research in the end. So we ran monthly community events in all the countries we were in to be able to connect with the people we want to be connected with and understand what they need, what they want. So that's also your early validation process, I guess. But then you need to find a connection of offline and online, and whatever you do offline, how can you leverage that through your online channels? So you normally, you use it for social media, you put it in your email marketing campaigns, the learnings you have from the people you can use to optimize your product. So it's not don't do offline, you should be doing offline, but when you do it, find a way to either measure it. So for e-commerce you have discount codes and that stuff, but also how to make the connection between offline and then leverage it further online.
Yeah, thank you. Musa, I'll come back to you. And let's say you're not a digital marketer, but you're only an author. So, as a prospective author, what is digital marketing and how that is very beneficial for you as an author?
So that's a very loaded question, though simple one-line question. So marketing, I'll say what marketing is, right? Marketing is basically getting the attention of the person who you can sell to or who can buy from you. That's the basic of marketing. And digital in most cases helps to do that more efficiently. And if I'm thinking in terms of authors, so I think the answer remains the same. And to do digital marketing well, as Anna said, it has to be a combination, right? You cannot, first if you want to be a good marketer or digital marketer, I think we are in 2017, that's why saying digital marketing or marketing. About 3 years more into it, say around 2020, people stop calling digital marketing, it will be the marketing. And if you have to do it well, then you should first understand the basics, and basics are understanding your customer, where they hang out, where they go up, to try out the kind of stuff that you want to sell to them, all these things. And then do not have a cookie cutter approach, right? See whether offline fit in you strategy well or offline. Thank you. In the back, people not able to hear me what I said earlier. If that's the case, I can repeat myself.
Guys, are we audible at the end? At the end of there? Yes.
Awesome. So I'll continue. So, for example, can you imagine which of the world's largest company, which has revenue to the tune of $80 billion, uses offline marketing, and it's a primarily digital marketing company, digital company? So I tell you, right? Google, for that matter, right? So we signed up a particular client for Google AdWords, and for we got a long printed hard letter and email upselling on other Google premium services from Google Incorporated. So basically, marketing has to follow the attention. So where the attention is, if there is too much information over instead of digital, then print works really well. So you do digital, but then understand and measure, okay, what is working, what is not working. And if by combining it with the offline, can you make it work? For example, Vikram can share more about it, but in case of real estate, right? So though VR is there, what Suraj is doing, but then customer going there, feeling the product, right? And you can mix a lot of call-ins with digital and offline, and it can have like really good impact on converting the leads, but getting people to become customers.
Yeah, because
I think it really depends on the product you are selling. So going offline, if you have limited money and you want to do B2B, I think you can just stick to digital. If you're getting to a real estate category where you need to build a perception and you need to get the messaging out fast enough. So, and your category is very varied and you need to have multiple brand touch points to create that buzz. Then the outdoor OOH and the hoardings and radio gives you that fast penetration. So within short period of time, you are reaching out larger people. Doing that in digital is very expensive actually. It's counterproductive. So you can get multiple brand touch points using, so it's a part of media planning, it's a science. You crank your numbers every day and you kind of figure out what works best eventually. Print circulations are down. If I am targeting an IT category, they read only papers on Sundays. So user behavior understanding that is very easy. But he's going to travel from his car, from his house to his office every day. That he cannot escape. So whatever billboards you're going to put up there, he has to see it. So how do you get multiple brand touch points to people is what, and what is the cost of that eventually, right? And are you hitting your right segment? While we are running campaigns for Opera Realty, we did geo mapping of the billboards, and we realized that we are getting bookings more from central Mumbai, the financial districts towards the western suburbs in Goregaon, which is really far actually. But the brand was sticking, so we mapped our customers on top of the billboard mapping, and we were able to eliminate the ones which were actually not making an impact. So where is my customer working and where is my project located? So that gives a good mix of, so marketing again, it's all about data analytics and mapping those numbers to your advantage. The more wastage you can reduce and more segmented you can get, the faster you will grow.
And let's start on that. Passing the line.
Okay. I was not prepared for this.
I'm really sorry.
For me, it's I would say growth hacking. It's an experiment and data-driven approach to business growth.
I would say it's a strategic, data-driven approach to kind of grow your business faster on the optimal level.
So by the definition of a growth hacker will be, a growth hacker is a one-man or woman machine whose only focus is growth for the startup.
As Sean Ellis has stated that a growth hacker is someone whose true north is growth. Is that right? Yes. Anytime if you don't hear us at the back, please call my name. Is that fine?
Awesome. And what Vishal was saying, he's said a name, right? Sean Ellis is the guy who coined the word growth hacker in 2010. And he was the first marketer at a company, Dropbox, which is now valued $10 million. So that's Sean Ellis.
Sean Ellis. I mean, he's the one scripted the name growth hacking and growth hacker. Yeah. So, as being a very new to this term, growth hacking and digital marketing, there's going to be a lot of confusion that what exactly is growth hacking and what exactly is digital marketing. So, Anna, can you please give us a difference between both of them?
Yeah, it's a huge discussion point always. It's like, oh, growth hacking, digital marketing, is it the same, is it not? It's not really like how I see it, and I know different, like a lot of different people have a lot of different opinions. If you go online and you search it, you find like 20 different opinions, 100. To me, growth hacking is just a way to approach digital marketing. Like it's about a mindset, it's about processes, and this mindset and processes you apply to digital marketing. So you use the same channels, but it's like the way you use it is different. That's why I said it's experiment and data driven. So rather than planning out like large digital marketing campaigns where you don't know what the outcome will be, you run a small scale experiment, you collect data, you see, okay, my conversion rate, for example, will be 5%. Based on that, this is the amount of revenue I can make if I put in another 20,000. And then you put in the 20,000 if it still makes sense. So it's really, it's not the one or the other, but it's a way of approaching digital marketing. But it's also, it's not growth hacking in digital marketing, it's growth hacking, digital marketing, data analysis, and product development. So growth hacking is, you see it as a mindset and as an approach of always testing things and collecting data. And that can be together with digital marketing channels, but it can also be, or it has to be together with your product as well. So when you build a product, what do people want? You don't build new features unless you tested them before. And you don't test them with anything you build. Like you set up a landing page, you ask people if they would pay money, for example, for a specific product. If they all say yes, you go out and you develop a product. So growth hacking, it's not that and digital marketing, it's really the mindset that you apply to different aspects of your business and your business growth. That's how I see it.
That's how you see it. Okay. Monica, I'll come to you and just give us a very short example of what growth hacking is. Because are you guys resonating that growth hacking is not really very much getting clear to you? Are you resonating with me? Is it? No one is sleeping, right? We had our lunch and I think we are a tea break too, right? Everyone is with us? Yes. Really with us? Yes. That's it. Thank you guys.
My suggestion will be, for the benefit of, I think if you switch on those lights, right, the video will be slightly poor, but that's okay. But the idea is to give value to everyone who is here. Video can like be taken care later. So we are fine with it if we do not look good on video.
Lights, please.
And because then do not have lights, right, the energy gets low, and even if you don't want to sleep, you tend to sleep. And second thing is, even if Vishal does not say that you give a short answer, I understand that we have to close at 4:30. I also have a flight to catch, so we'll all keep it short only. But if I have to say what growth hacking is, right, growth hacking is just smart marketing. So I'll give you like very layman's example, right, so that everyone understands, everyone in this room. So you have mixed vegetable, sabzi. And so mixed vegetable is made of a lot of things. Some people put peas in it, some people put carrot, anything you put it there, right? And if you have to make a version of mixed veg, which is like very simple to make, very easy to digest, and gives you 10 times the energy of the current mixed veg. Basically, within digital marketing, there are a lot of these people. There is SEO, there is content marketing, there are different trends which are running. Email marketing, where you promote customers through email. You take bits of them, there is data, there is analytics, that means analyzing what is working for you, what is not, and you take some element, you take some peas or carrots or potatoes, and then make a version of it which is really efficient, which gives you a lot of energy and which does the work for you, without putting too much like burden on your resources. So that's what growth hacking is.
Growth hacking funnel. Vijay sir, please to introduce growth hacking funnel for us.
Actually, these are some jargon, but it's basic marketing. You reach out to your customers, you try and engage them, you get more referrals out of them, you figure out how you make money out of it, and you figure out a way of coming back to you all the time. So that's common sense again. It's a good way to put marketing or hacking jargon in. But that's what basically it is. That's how the funnel works. So you reach out to people, you find out a way to engage them and get their contact, because there's anybody out there who's looking at your website or a business. You can be a brick and mortar business also. Then how do you interact with them? How do you monetize your business out of them? And how do you get more referrals and keep them engaged? That's the funnel.
Wow. So let's go a bit of depth into the stages of growth hacking funnel. Anna, please.
Yeah, I think you kind of mapped it out just there.
A
Yeah,
bit
I mean,
more
it's-
depth into it.
Like, yeah, I mean, it starts with user acquisition. So what's the first time you hear about a product? It can be maybe you read a blog article, maybe you see an ad on Google, maybe you see it on Facebook. So that's the first stage. It's the first touch point. So we're also talking about touch points here. So that's the what we call the user acquisition stage. How does someone the first time hear about a product? And then from there, what you want them to do as a business, as the second touch point, you want them to convert. And for different businesses, it's different things. So if you have an app, you want them to download and install. If you have an e-commerce store, you want them to purchase something. But you want them to take an action. That's the second stage. That's the activation stage. So step one, user acquisition, how do they find out about you? And then step two, how do you get them to do what you want them to do? If we stick with e-commerce, how do you get them to purchase? And that's again where the product comes in. Because the next step would be retention. You want users to always come back to you. Let it be an app, you want them to use your app every day if possible. If you're an e-commerce store, you want them to come back and purchase with you again as often as possible so you can maximize the revenue out of each user. However, if during that activation stage they have a really bad experience with your product, you will never be able to retain them in the retention stage. But that's basically the goal. Make sure they have a fantastic experience so they will come back and use your product again. And you can support that with different mechanisms, like it can be email marketing, it can be push notifications, like anything that makes sure someone comes back and uses your product again. That's the retention stage. And then at that point, you have a few users, they purchase with you the first time, and they maybe purchase the second, third time, so chances are they kind of like what you do. And at that stage, the referrals normally start to kick in. Like I know if I purchase with a company 5 times, I would probably start to tell my friends about it. It's like, hey, yeah, I just bought there again, check it out. That's the referral part. And then in the end, I mean, you all want to build businesses, so you need to make revenue. So you always have to look at everything from step 1, someone sees me on Facebook, to revenue. Can I make money out of that specific person? Because if the answer is no, then you don't even do any Facebook anymore. So it's this flow, the different touch points you have with your users, and you need to optimize each of these stages. So it's like acquisition, they find out about you, you convert them, you make them purchase, then you retain them, you make them purchase with you again, they start to talk to their friends about what you do, and in the end you generate revenue, and you always try to maximize that revenue. That's the funnel that we're talking about.
Thank you, Anna. When do we start growth hacking? In a startup, let's say we have started. So which is the right time to start growth hacking?
It depends on the kind of product you have, but in most cases, growth hacking thought process or the focus of the growth hacking mindset should start even before you have thought about the product, or in the initial stages when you're researching about the product. Because if you can build growth into product, then the chance of growth is really high. For example, I give you, how many of you use Twitter here? Okay. So Twitter, the product, now it's $1 billion company going down, but still it's $1 billion company, made a lot of money for founders. And you have to understand the goal of running a business, right? There is, in current time, there is a lot of fancy entrepreneurship because Ritesh Agarwal came on the cover of one magazine, raised $100 million. A lot of people want to become entrepreneurs. But the goal of entrepreneurship has been and will be to make profits for everyone involved, whether it be founders or stakeholders, shareholders, and then do that by giving value to the customers. That's the goal of the business, right? And these are the stages which helps people or the founders make money. So I'll say, can you just say the question again?
Yeah, when do we start growth hacking?
Okay, so at the research stage only, and like Twitter did, so Twitter has this thing called suggested user list. And to go do growth hacking, well, you have to find a sweet spot. So the makers of Twitter analyze that when a user follows 30 users, then that user stays, that user is retained, and that user will not go away, that user will continue to use the product. And when you have active users, your investors and the public values you more. So that is the sweet spot that they got. Facebook, the sweet spot is 10 friends. So when a user has 10 friends on Facebook, they'll not go back. They'll tend to have more friends because they'll see enough news in their newsfeed. So I think as a startup entrepreneur, if you already started, then probably you can think later. But if you're in the thinking stage, that thing how before starting only you can get more users. So there's this term called pre-launch. So even before you launch a product, if you can get a list of emails of people, then you are valued really highly. For example, why is Twitter valued at what it is valued? Because it has so many hundreds of millions of active users. Why did Facebook pay $16 million in cash plus $3 billion in other incentives to WhatsApp for a 35 people company? Because it had so many 100 million active users across the world. So as many users you can engage, or the attention of as many users you can get, your business will be as big. For example, I'll give you an example. There was this small app, and there are a lot of app dreams in this room also. It is called Mailbox, and it was a mailing. It was a layer on top of emails, right, to make your mailing experience easy for iOS, for Apple users. And this product launched on Feb 12th, 2013, if I'm not, I recall it right. And before it launched, it had created an email list of 380,000 people.
Wow.
And because of that list, the product launched on Feb 12th, 2013. May 15th, Dropbox, the other company, bought it for $100 million for a product which did not have revenues. So when you think about WhatsApp, okay, can I create a business which is like WhatsApp, which is a multi-billion dollar company, or can I create a Twitter? Then maybe it's tough. The probability of a person getting this room, I can say probably 1% or 0. And I'm being blunt here, but that's the scene. But a lot of people can create $5 million, $10 million companies. And $5 million, $10 million looks small in front of a $1 billion valuation. But if you have $5 million in money, if you're living in India or say US, that's like damn cool money. You can be happy for the rest of your life. So I think you should start thinking before you start. For example, I'll just give you a small example, and then I'll request Vishal to play a video which I'll share with you. And you need not have a perfect start. So Dropbox, the company I've been talking about, there's a guy, his name is Drew Houston. He started this company in 2007 out of his dorm room because he had the problem of leaving his pen drive in his dorm room. He used to always forget it. He said, okay, let's create a solution which is based on the web. And he had this particular thing. He created this thing. Hack is the English word for jugaad. He had this thing. And then created a small video which got the eye of Y Combinator, which is one of the biggest startup incubators in the world right now. They funded them, and then he created another crappy video, posted it on Dig, which was a big site then. And because of that, he got 75,000 signups, and he was aiming for 17,000, 12,000 only. And because of that, the company was valued around $10 billion by 2015 because it started a series of growth measures for them. So if you can just play this video.
The video.
And the video which Vishal most likely play for you.
New way to store and share files online. What makes Dropbox different is that it just works, and there isn't any complicated setup or interface to learn. So let's get started. I've already installed Dropbox on a Windows PC and put a bunch of files in, and now I want to sync these files to my Mac. So to do that, I just installed Dropbox, and now I'm linking my Mac to my account. So in a second, my account will be linked, and you can see that the files that were on my Windows PC will start coming down. And what we're looking at is my Dropbox folder, which looks and acts like any other folder except for two things. One, these little green icons that indicate files are up to date. And two, anything in my Dropbox is synced across all my computers and to the web. And you'll notice that when I make changes, everything syncs up pretty quickly. And as another example, I'm going to log in my Windows PC, where you'll see that not only are the changes from my Mac already here, but if I make another change to a file, so for example, this picture of a platypus, and then I hit save, the change begins uploading immediately. And when I go back to my Mac, the change is reflected in a matter of seconds. So the point is, if you've ever worked with multiple computers or carried around USB
So while this video realistic but time is less, I'll request the team to take it to the last 30 seconds. And I'll tell you the idea of showing you this video. Last 30 seconds only. Take it towards the end. The person doing the work gets the most of the flag, right? That's a tough job. Do it right. But even if we cannot see, the idea here is that this is a company which is now valued more than $10 billion, and this is not many years back. And he has this machine on his own where he's talking and created this crappy video, right? So when we think of startups, right, we think of these flashy videos, like really high-end videos where you'll have to invest 50,000 or 1 lakh rupees to create those videos. but always do not go for perfection, right? Start wherever you are with whatever you have, and give yourself permission to improve as you go. So I think starting is very important, and then seeing it through is also important, but do not think of perfect start.
So if you have a folder full of photos like this one here, all you have to do is drag it into the special photos folder inside your Dropbox. And when you
Anyone else? So you can give your names and emails to the organizers, and I'll have it sent to you. And the interesting thing about Steve Ballmer is he's a billionaire, and he's not a founder of a company, right? So you just have to ask yourself, do you want to be an entrepreneur, or do you want to be a top-notch employee? So both paths are good. So entrepreneurship is not only the great part in life, right? You can choose any one of those and still be a billionaire. So this guy is worth about $9 billion.
Definitely the harder one though, entrepreneurship.
Yeah, it is. No, anyway. Anyone who's done it, that person knows, okay, it's tougher than being an employee always. But the fruits can be also very good.
Yes. So, growth jugaad and all those numbers. So now growth jugaad is very cool for us, right? Yeah, so Anna, please you can add something to the video.
I just want to say one thing, because we work a lot with early stage startups, and they always come to us and they're like, oh, I read about this growth hack and that growth hack, and then I did the same thing, and normally it just doesn't work at all. Like if you go out then you research about growth hacking and growth hacks, you have to be very, very, very critical, because you will never have one growth hack that grows your company. It goes hand in hand with the funnel we discussed earlier. Like some of the most, I think one of the most popular ones is, for example, Airbnb and Craigslist. Has anyone heard about that one? Yeah, so Airbnb basically, they just posted all the rooms they had on Craigslist as well, so they had a bigger audience to tap into. And if you look for growth hacking case studies, that's probably number one or number two. And that's why I'm saying you have to be critical about it, because if you think about the funnel, that only got them traffic. That did not get them bookings. It did not translate into revenue. Anything that doesn't translate into revenue doesn't make sense. Because the problem for them was, that was the first problem, to get traffic, but the second problem they had was that traffic actually didn't convert. The conversion rate of Airbnb at that time was really bad. At the next step, once they had all the traffic coming in, they had to fix their conversion rates. And what they did then was to play with professional photography, because they realized that the listings they had that had high quality photos, they converted higher. They ran an experiment about it, figured out, okay, there is that connection between high quality photos and the conversion rate, and then they hired professional photographers to actually basically enhance the listings that they had. And that's when the conversions started to come in. So really be critical about what you read, because a lot of the stuff you read about, it's only about user acquisition. But then if you can't convert these users and generate revenue out of them, this really doesn't help you build a sustainable business in the long run.
Yeah, I mean, a growth hacker's work is not only to get the visitors, but convert them into your users and then get a lot of revenue from it. Am I right?
Yeah, like retention. I think for me personally, in the businesses we work with, retention is the most important metric. It's getting the people, but making sure that the ones you have, you treat as good as you can, so that you have the recurring revenue basically from the same users.
Wow. Thank you, Anna. So let's move to the next thing is about data. We have been really talking about data, and how how does data will affect the decision making of your growth hacks or decision making of your strategy? Please elaborate on this point.
I think it's all about data today. So get your market research and strategies right. So I'll give you a very offbeat example, because we've been talking too much about digital marketing. So let's get a little bit offbeat, right? So we picked up a really shitty project and we wanted to see if we can turn it around, right? It was really some general plotting around Pune, 45-50 minutes from here. And when we started our research, we realized that people who were walking in didn't have high level of education, their age group was higher. And when we started mapping it to the demographics in Pune, actually the people who had money were young, IT, management, big management, manufacturing, so the educated class. That's what Pune is all about. Now what do these people want, right? So what do I sell them? So the messaging and strategy part becomes extremely important. So today, if you really look at the millennials and the Indian culture, uh, fitness and well-being is a huge part of what they are trying to do today. So we converted to the first active living destination in India. And then we brought in Million Soman to kind of take it to the next level. And the strategy played it off, so it was a huge campaign, so I really wouldn't call it growth hacking. But we tested it initially before we went live with the market, before even bringing in Million Soman, that does the well-being idea work and get us the right walk-ins. So we ran small campaigns on Facebook, and so the activation phase and the messaging part is extremely important, and you have to kind of get your data and your assumptions right during that stage. So before you start, you create your measurement matrices and assumptions. You also create your risk matrix and a strategy to de-risk yourself. So when you're creating a new brand, what we did was we built the whole brand on social media. So before we even went live with a campaign, we started rewarding people for giving us ratings on Facebook. When they visited, the initial people visited the site, we treated them really well, asked them to kind of recommend us, and we gave them a discount on that and all. So we at the same time de-risked ourselves on that side. So when we actually launched the campaign, we were able to move around 50-60 crores in 3 months for a brand which was, and we created a brand out of the whole project. So what enabled us to do this was data and continuously tracking the sales numbers, the systems, my A/B testing, is this ad working or that ad working, is FB giving me better traction, if even I bring in a person from Google, what kind of landing page do I have, how do I bring in my recommendations onto my landing pages, how do I do content marketing, how do I have 3 to 4 brand touch points, take my messaging to the next level, what does my remarketing look like, is the person still engaged, there is a lead scoring algorithm on the back end. That will actually tell how much the person is engaged with you. This is a high ticket buy, so I can afford to do all these things, right? I can try and engage the person who's already kind of responding to my content better. For a smaller company like for Amula, right, we can't go out and do this campaign. So we just LinkedIn is the best platform to use for a B2B company, the LinkedIn Navigator, Sales Navigator. And I really in the morning get in touch with 3 or 4 CMOs, read their articles, give them a high five on that or message, and next time I pick up a call on there, I get a meeting, right? So for a B2B and a B2C brand, there are different ways to kind of look at it. But data platforms and all these things are very important. And also you have to know your budgets very well before you start out. So that's what I would say.
Thank you, thank you. Mohit, please, can you?
In this room, there are a lot of wannabe entrepreneurs. There are existing entrepreneurs also. And usually, when we think of creating a product, right, when you're in research or idea stage, then normally people think of the demo that they are in. So if we are young people, 20-year-old, 22-year-old, you would want to make an app for people like you, right? But you'll also have to understand who has money, right? So anyone who is studying in engineering college, unless his father is funding him 1 lakh rupees per month, that person has less pocket money. So the market to go after is good, which is like digitally native savvy. So that market generally will be somewhere between 30 to 45 age group. And these are the people who are making 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 lakh rupees per month, even if their dad is not funding them. And they are digitally savvy also. So I think that particular demo is like good after. And they want to spend money on different things which can add luxury, fitness, and all these things to their life. I think that needs to be.
Okay, thankful for that. So let's move to next thing, and let's say what are the tools which are for a growth hacker or let's say a digital marketer. I mean, I'll go to each and everyone for the tools because there are like many different tools. And which one is best for you? Highlight that one and few tools, please.
So many. I think I use like 15 tools every day. One of my favorite tools, who has heard of A/B testing before? Okay, so A/B testing, say for example, you have a page and there's a campaign that says you get, say $10 off your next purchase. And then you want to see, do people actually react differently if I only make it $5? Because really you don't want to give them the 10. Sometimes even if you have the same thing and you say they don't get any discount, it converts as good as the one with the $10 on it. And that's something we call A/B testing. So you have one URL that's called the URL test.com. And then you have 1,000 people going to it. You have 3 different versions of the exact same page, and you just change the copy. It's like $10 off, $5 off, nothing off. It's just a campaign. And then the tool is called Visual Website Optimizer. It's actually, I think they are based out of Delhi. Yeah, like it's a really fantastic tool. And basically what it does, it splits the 1,000 visitors to your page, like 333 to version A, and then 333 to version B, and then 334 to version C. And then you can see, okay, which of those actually gets me more conversions, like where do people buy more of? And then again, based on the data, you can then set it up on your homepage, for example, where you say, okay, $5, we had a conversion rate of 10%, fantastic, I put that information on my homepage because I know this will convert the best. So it's a tool that lets you test basically different versions of the different pages you have on your website, but also just different landing pages when you want to test which value proposition works the best, what pricing works the best. So you basically just split the traffic, show the people that come to your page different versions, and then see which of these versions converts the best. So super useful tool. Really easy to use, takes you like 5 or 10 minutes to set up one of these tests. So rather than creating that page from scratch, or these 3 pages from scratch, which would take a while, it lets you do the same thing in 5 minutes. You collect the data and then whatever you want to do with it. So that's one of my favorite tools that I use every day almost.
So this is about A/B testing, right? So with that, I'll come to you again. There are many social media handles, right? I mean, there's Twitter, there's Instagram, there's LinkedIn. So what is one tool that will get all the handles into one place, and which is very good for you? I mean, which you really like personally, like which thing?
I think what we are, there are a lot of different tools, and it's really, are you trying to post automation, that is what you're trying to get to, or you just want to read everything from your Twitter and what mentions and all these things? There is mentions.com, there is Meltwater, a couple of other tools which have come out. If you're starting out, mentions.com will work for you in the start. If you are an enterprise company, obviously, Locobuzz is an Indian company which is doing pretty well in that sense. The best product we are putting out there already. So, I think Google Analytics basically gives you all these things, but like an A/B testing, you can run it as an experiment, but you have to build the page yourself. To make it easy, you have Visual Web Optimizer and all these things. So we also have tools which is called Pages and all these things, integrated into a single platform. So really, if you look at the whole cycle, there is advertising, so you need tools for advertising. Then there is marketing, which is drip marketing, emailer, segmentation, nurturing. So you need your email tools, which is like a MailChimp or a Mailgun, which is an API-based tool. But everywhere things keep changing depending on who has more database or accessibility and all these things. And then there are tools which have, I think, enterprise only Salesforce works because they have course LinkedIn into giving them APIs for pulling the data. So really we are putting hacks around it to kind of only using Salesforce API to get the LinkedIn data and then push the data back into our system. So really think about your advertising. If you're an enterprise, there are tools like Nanium and all these tools which are doing predictive algorithm for you. So even if you don't know how to get on and spend your money, they kind of give you a direction on which way you want to go, nice dashboards. Marketing, you have multiple tools like HubSpot or Marketo and all these things, which have everything in it. But if you are a programmer, you really need Google Analytics, nothing else, right? So, and for social, you can go with mentions, Locobuzz, and you're good to go on those lines. Sales, you have so many sales CRMs and lead management tools. But some of the things you should keep a watch on, and all these data should be sitting on a single platform for you to make sense out of it. Because you're looking at advertising data and marketing data and sales data on different buckets, you'll get confused. So all the data should flow into it.
I'll just take it to fun, right? So when you're starting a business, what do you need, right? You need an interface for people to interact with you. I'm talking digital, like you either need a website or an app interface. So basic, and many of you are like from CS here, right? And so anyone who wants to start up, get their friend to create a website or basic app for you. WordPress is a good tool for that. And then you want to make landing pages. Landing page is a specialized kind of web page which helps you get more people as your customer or get into your funnel. So lead pages is a good tool for that. And once a customer has given your email, their email to you, then you should be able to send email to them. So Gmail only allows you to send 500 emails in a day, and if you send a lot of promotional emails, right, they'll block your account. So do not do that. So there is a tool for that called Mailchimp. And these are like really basic level tools, but I am sharing this with you because most of you will not start a funding startup initially, right? You should try to do things by your hands first, by using tools which do not cost much. Get your hands dirty, and then later on you can get into high enterprise level tools, because HubSpot, for example, costs about $10,000 for a year for a smaller subscription. So I think that'll be out of reach of like most of the audience here. So you try to do these different bits together. So email marketing, pick up Mailchimp, which allows you to send 12,000 emails in a month for free. That's pretty good. You can then track who opened your email, who clicked on this particular link. And so acquisition is website and landing pages, that is lead pages. For email marketing, which is the retention phase where a customer has given you email, you want to then get this person again back to your website. So use email this person. For that, use Mailchimp for that. And the next phase, which is referral. So there is a program called Get Ambassador. So which is like really, I think it's $5 or $10 a month only. And you can set up a referral program using Get Ambassador. It's pretty good. And so do not like go into coding your own things for that. It'll like waste a lot of time. Rather than use that time to understand more about your customer. And this thing is called lean stack, right? So whatever is available, pick those things and create your startup around it. And then when it comes to like revenue and monetization, then video can come in handy. And acquisition, I'll go back to what Drew Houston created, right? This video. So either you can open your device and create a video. There are a lot of free software, but there are paid softwares also which are not very costly, $100, under $100. There is Jing, there is Camtasia. You can make good screencasts out of these kind of videos. If you want to go slightly higher, then there's Power Tools and these kind of tools you can use. So these tools I'm telling, if you want to market your startup, I think the cost in a year will not be more than 50,000 or 60,000 rupees, which is probably doable for everyone if you by selling to your early customers. So that's what I should do. There's this company called Dollar Shaped Love. We've got clones of that company now in India, a company based out of Chandigarh. They're doing pretty well. So cloning of a good startup is also not a bad idea. Rocket Internet did that for a long time, and they made $1 billion business out of it. So Rocket Internet is a like, big company which Anna worked for over here, and they have created multi-billion-dollar businesses. So many of them. Jabong is like one of their players in India, and they have like so many startups across US, and now they're getting into US also. Europe, they are big. So Dollar Shaped Club started with a video only, and that video costed the founder about $5,000. And that video is very good because the founder was a smart marketer. That was his expertise. So if anyone else wanted to do that kind of video, it will cost about $15,000. But that's still not too much money. And Dollar Shaped Club, within 3 to 4 years of starting, Unilever bought it for $3 billion in cash recently only. And just because of that video, they wanted to get about 1,000 subscriptions. And this company makes high quality, low cost lasers, and that's a subscription product. They sell every month to you a supply of lasers and the laser handles. So that's what they did, and because of that video, they were able to get 95,000 subscriptions in that first month. Wow. 5,000 within the first 24 hours.
Actually, Dollar Shaped Club was funded by Sciencing, a similar company which we actually helped build with the Sciencing company was Me Undy. They sell underwear online, right?
That's also
so, they are doing 3-4 million a year already. But there the hack was to use popular bloggers and a lot of Hollywood clout to create that brand and push to the market. So the videos and all are really funky, the content is funky, but the cost of production was really low. We got the videos done for like $1,000, and
Oh,
all
awesome.
these things. So, and the bloggers got some awards, they got invited to parties and all these things for some great Hollywood parties. Within a year, the company did more than $1 million online, competing with Calvin Klein and all the other companies.
Awesome.
Yes. Modi. Yeah, thank you. So let's talk about governments and digital marketing. Vikram sir, I'll come to you. Let's say governments and digital marketing. Recently, we are really looking that many of the governments are getting into digital marketing so that they can really do work and they can really reach a large number of crowd. So, your comments on digital marketing with government and in India, about India.
I'll give you a very interesting context. Recently, we figured out a phenomena in October, November. We are expecting the cost to go up before and during the Diwali. But the costs actually were going down. Reason being Reliance Jio, free internet, right? The penetration has grown so phenomenal that probably India is getting crazy kind of to the amount of reach you have. Uh, and everybody is on Facebook. That's the fun part again, right? Even in villages. So we are doing a project in a third tier city, and the highest amount of sales we got is through Facebook. So not print, not hoardings, nothing but on Facebook and WhatsApp. That's it. So the kind of penetration that internet has in India today, we ran a couple of campaigns for BJP government for Pune elections and all. But the reach is phenomenal. It's a very interactive media. It's really a game changer today, where people are building this. I was just reading a World Economic Forum report yesterday, and even in the budget, how they are using geotagging and satellite imaging and all these things. So work done on the ground with Manrega. So there's going to be some checks to the corruption and the penetration, and this is only because the internet penetration is very high. So anywhere the complaint lines are more open, people participation is higher. Then you'll see a lot of programs coming up on those lines, and anyone who actually really works on those lines is going to benefit from government contracts a lot in the future.
Okay. And we have talked about India as of now. So, what other governments in the rest part of the world are doing with digital marketing? Uh, uh, Please do have a very keen ear into this because this is what Modi is doing, and everyone is more of interested in Modi, right? Because as I said, Modi, few of them are like, "Ah, he kya bol raha hai?" Right? Yeah, sure. Anna, please. So, other governments and digital marketing.
I actually think India is quite far ahead of other governments,
Uh-huh.
except for Singapore. Singapore is just everything's digital already. Um, I know it more in the context of startups or like the entrepreneurship scene.
Sure.
Because I think, yeah, definitely Singapore number one. Malaysia is picking up really, really, really fast. Like they're building like all these online databases for entrepreneurs. Like they connect because it's not nearly as big as India, obviously. But it's very spread out. So in order to bring together entrepreneurs from the different regions, for example, they do a lot of like online meetups, they create forums, they create chat rooms, there's like monthly hangouts where entrepreneurs can collaborate with each other. So it's really, I mean, that's what I deal with, so that's what I know. In terms of supporting the entrepreneurship ecosystems, they use a lot of digital marketing initiatives, or like apply them a lot. Indonesia's kind of picking up, they're still probably 5 years behind, understanding the importance now. And actually, they have this 1,000 digital startup program that started now. So they're trying because it's a very vast country and you have all these islands and everything. They just use digital and digital marketing to connect the people from the different regions to together build more successful like small businesses.
Yes.
That's like main countries we deal in.
Thank you. We are really running out of time, and I have to really skip your point. So I'll keep my mobile aside. Sir,
I
shall I
think
go for the
also we
questions?
can take questions.
Yes, please. So questions, please. I'll tell you one thing.
Market and you
So which one party do you concentrate more on?
One, retention. No, simply because you already invested in getting them. So losing those will hurt you more than not getting a new one. But ideally, because in the early stages, you actually, like when you launch, that's actually a very common, I think, mistake startups make. Because a lot of founders come to us and like, I have a product, it's ready, help me grow it. And when they say help me grow it, they want to have users. Do not do that, because you don't know how users interact with your product yet. So before you focus on user acquisition, you focus on the other two stages. You focus on activation and retention. And ideally, during that stage, you set up mechanisms already for retention, so that you can then focus on new user acquisition. But it's really first you fix your retention, so you know if someone comes through the funnel, they make a purchase, I can retain them, and then you focus on getting new users in. But the existing ones are more important than the new ones, at least based on my experience.
I think there are going to be a lot of questions, and we have limited time, but the life is long for you and us also. So we can keep this discussion going. I just give you an example, right? If you want to become a good growth hacker, startup owner, entrepreneur, right? Do not like read too much. Read a bit for sure, do your research, and then act on it, whatever you read. So if you want to be a good growth hacker, then look up just look up a keyword called growth hacking, and a lot of results will come. Pick some of them, not 50, top 3, 4 maybe, and then read through them. That's how all of us learn. That's how we've learned. That's how I've written this book, which has 1 lakh words in it. So you learn and then apply. And then I think that's the best way to learn. And in terms of, you were Sahil, right? Okay, so your question, so if you want to learn more about retention, right, see what some of the biggest companies are doing for retention. So buy a smallest value product from Amazon and see the kind of emails that they send you. As soon as you bought the product, they'll send you, okay, your order is being shipped, then a thank you email, then the next email, the third day will come, okay, this is the order, status of the order, and fourth day, another email, okay, your order has been delivered, hope you're liking it. Fifth day, there'll be a review email. Sixth day, there'll be email which talks about cross promotion, which Amazon has a lot of companies in its report, right? They say, okay, check out myhabit.com, which is one of our properties. And then they'll ask you to recommend you to their friends also. So all the things are built in their automated email. So you can all be programmed. So if you get help from any one of your friends, if you have a startup like this can all be programmed. So you don't have to write and sit and write all these emails yourself. You set it once, and then they keep on going to the right people, and then give you a lot of insights, data about how your customers are performing. If one email is not being opened or acting well for you, then you try to tweak the words which are there. So learn from big companies or small companies also which are doing well. For example, Anna talked about Bharat Chopra, who started BWO.com, A/B testing company, and you can all take heart, right? He's an Indian. He went to DC. He started a lot of startups there. Started a company called Jugaad, which did not work. He started another company which did not work, and then he started. He wrote a small blog post on a magazine, on a website called SmashingMagazine.com. It was a large website, and he said, "Okay, I'm thinking of creating a product like this. Will you be interested?" And a lot of people said, "Okay, I will be interested." Then only he created the product, and now he runs his office from a part of Delhi which is not like very cool. But the good thing is, you can get cheaper employees there, and that's a smart play. And I think he started doing about $1 million in revenues about 2 years back. Now I think he's doing in excess of $25 million. I've not spoken to him for a long time, but I'm pretty sure he's doing more than $25 million a year. And Optimizely, which is one of their biggest competition, Obama campaign was one of their customers, and they have big funders behind them. But in my mind, not because Paras Chopra is an Indian, but BW is a much better product with a large set of customers. So I think each one of you, though I said you cannot make a $1 billion company, which probably is true, but each one of you can create a $5 million, $10 million, $100 million company in the next 5 to 10 years. That's all possible, sitting here in Pune.
Wow. So, anyone up for $5 million company? Anyone? Yeah? Students. I know that.
And anyone, including Akhil, who asks a good question, right, gets a copy of my book as a gift.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, so next question, please. We have two. Sir.
My name is Sanjay. I have a startup. Recently started a company in India. I have a startup in US as well. Challenging part in US is we know that there is a fixed business, and I'm in the advanced manufacturing, digital manufacturing world, which is kind of like a dry field, but at the same time, because it's digital, it has some glamour to it, and then it has some virtual and some other fancy tools. But in India, what I'm seeing is that customer penetration, that's a challenge because already few of the market players are already crowded the space, so it has become a saturated market. What would be a recommendation? I mean, I know that it's a dry field, but what would be a recommendation? Let's say you are a consultant and this is a use case scenario where we know that we want to market this product and it is being pushed from the OEM side because obviously the MNCs are here in Pune, this is the Detroit of India, and everybody wants perfect, and there are tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, whatever you want to call it as. But I know engineering, manufacturing is kind of like a dry field, but how do you make the difference?
Okay. And
Okay, sir, can I ask you again, like you are into automobiles, right?
Yes.
What do you make?
Basically, the production lines, you see those conveyors and assembly stations or CNC machine lines. These are the flex lines, they call it as. So this has been traditionally there. But now what we do is that we bring everything up on a computer, and then we do everything ahead of the launch. So we are trying to prepone everything. So we try to evaluate. Let's say there's ergonomics or a robotic station. Previously, we used to do everything hard-coded on this floor. I mean, I've not visited floor for many months or maybe few years now. I do everything on my computer. Before even we hit the floor, everything is ready. Right from my CNC code, everything is ready. I just say, okay, now you say go button, and even the commissioning part is done virtually now. So we are consultants in those advanced manufacturing fields.
Awesome. And if you can answer this question also before I answer the question. So what sort of budgets will you have and what sort of revenue are you looking at?
Budget-wise, I can tell you a brief idea. One machine costs around $50,000 to $100,000. It varies.
To promote your budget,
To marketing budget. Marketing budget, I am a startup, so you can imagine like you advise right start free. So that's what it will be a little.
Okay, so I'll just give you context of this thing. Anyone who is in this room, right? There are two ways of marketing product digitally, right? There's the organic way or there is paid way. So organic is when you have less money, but you want to invest more time doing that yourself or through your friends, right? That's when you do organic mostly. And when you have a lot of money, then you do a mix of paid and organic both. Both should be done simultaneously. In your case, I'll say, if you want to do paid, then say if your buyer is head of operations, I'm just assuming, or then you run a AdWords campaign that has to be very specific around this person's name. A lot of people, almost everyone looks up their name on Google. If this person's name is Viru Seshabudde, then run a campaign around Viru Seshabudde's name. And chances are Viru Seshabudde will look up his name and then your product will be listed next to it. What it do for you is, Google AdWords is becoming costly affair. But if you do this smart, creative thing, right, then you'll not pay a lot of money for different clicks, right? You are just, if in a company you know, okay, these are these 10 decision makers, you run a campaign around all their names. And this is doable in Google AdWords. This is what you can do. And if you, are you ready to do hard work also?
Absolutely.
Okay. So if you are willing to do that, then probably start creating videos around conveyor belts and how they're done, right? I'll just quote an example. I'm not recalling any example from India, but this guy, his name is Marcus Sheridan, and he's from Virginia in the US. And he used to run a company which used to make fiberglass pools. And it was around subprime crisis in US. There are a lot of companies into real estate. They went bust. Lehman Brothers went bust during subprime crisis. And this is around those times. And swimming pool sales are related to that particular market, real estate. So his company was going down, and customers who had paid advance, they had asked for advances back. And his marketing budget was like $250,000 every year. He had a decently sized company. And they had to cut back the marketing budget because there was no revenues coming into $25,000 only. And there were 3 co-founders. He said, okay, I'll try this new thing which is coming up in the market. There's a trend called content marketing, where what you do is, I'll just tell you the simplest form. You write down one fine day, probably after going from here, you write down all the questions that you think can be in the mind of the customers and start answering that question at the rate of 1 question per day. Give a good answer, not very long, not very short. You can write a blog, you can create a video, you can create your audio and then start posting on your website. If you do all, for example, if you create a video, post it on YouTube and Facebook, and then get a service to transcribe it for you, the video. Because a lot of people cannot write, but they can speak. Talking is easy. So, which can do it for you. and then you make a blog post out of it, and then post it on the website. What it will do is, it will automatically, without you understanding the jargons like SEO and all these things, it will send all the right people to your website. And you'll have to do it for 365 days. Before that, if you come back to me or any digital marketer that okay, it is not working, then we are not to blame.
But this is good. I mean, good. I never thought about this.
So I think the problem you're looking at is basically you have a very segmented market. So big spends are not warranted. As you said correctly, the right kind of messaging is very important. So obviously marketing material and collaterals you'll have to invest in. It has to look good. And the message of what kind of ROIs your product will give them. And this is top three. Nobody has time to go through a lot of content today, right? I would say because you are in a B2B segment and very niche market, you only need to get attention of probably 10 people in India, right? So you need to be best friends with all these 10 people,
I think,
right?
yeah, that's right.
So get on to LinkedIn Navigator, Sales Navigator. It will give you a feed of what you create your sales feed. It will tell you every day what these 10 people are sharing, what are their likes. Start building a relationship online with them. Send them messages every day. Try and have a conversation with them. Only 10 people, it's not a lot of work. By probably in a month's time, they should be very familiar with you. In the second month, add them on your Facebook. If you are through, then ask for a meeting. And you will get the meeting, right? It's that straightforward.
Sure, sure.
I just finished the story that I started, Marcus Sheridan's story, right? This is great. I'll also add to it. Marcus Sheridan, he was going down and he started posting answers to all the questions the customer had. He did not talk about himself, he talked about the industry only. And started posting the price of his services also, which a lot of small entrepreneurs do not do because the competition will take away their business or they'll give their secrets to the competition. And as a result of doing this for 3 years, his company became one of the largest fiberglass installation players in the state of Virginia. And this guy was featured on the cover, on one of the pages of New York Times. And then he's created another business teaching other people doing this, but then his company has also become bigger. And now they've partnered with another competition of theirs. They've become one of the largest players in their market in at least 10 US states.
Wow.
It's phenomenal.
Yes, sir. I need to cut down because we have to conclude here. So I'll just summarize that what we went through the whole panel discussion. First of all, we went through the companies what the panelists are working with, and then we really went to the psychology and marketing thing, and we did understand what is digital marketing, then growth hacking, then went to the very much pulse of it. Let's say about the tools, about the growth hacking funnel, and then there was obviously the government thing and the digital marketing thing. So I'm really sorry I can't take your question. This was the last one, and at the end of it, I'd like to tell you that if you really liked it, meet with at Vishwapreneur, and if you don't like it, I'm out. Please give me a feedback. So the next time I come, I'll be coming with more and more interesting things. Is that fine? Yes. Everyone with me? Yes. So we are concluding, and I would really like to thank Anna, thank Vikram sir, thank Mohit sir. So let's have a big round of applause. Thank you. Thank you.
And I applaud all of you for being such a great audience. And we collectively wish you great luck in doing whatever you're trying to do. And anytime you reach, need my help, my email is there with Hitesh and Risha. You can take it from there. Anytime reach out to me and I'll try to get back to you.
Yes. Emails could be showcased on the screen as soon as we are done.
This session really helped us to learn more about a relatively new concept of growth hacking
and ever-evolving aspects of digital marketing.
We would like to thank our panelists for giving their valuable time and enthralling us with their ideas. We also thank our moderator, Mr. Vishwakarma, for this fabulous panel discussion.
We request Vanzai ma'am to guide our guests to the seminar hall.